welcome to Talking Trader Joe's, I guess. We're filming this episode in my apartment in Pasadena. I'm just going to be really transparent with our listeners. It's been a rough couple of weeks. How are you holding up, Mark?
I've been very low energy lately. This lawsuit that is upon us right now just happened to coincide with daylight savings time. It's been getting dark earlier, and I was just so disoriented and confused lately. The blinds are shut in my house. There's fecal matter in the toilet I have not flushed. Interesting time here in the Trader Joe's family, if we are even a family now.
You've talked about making sure your amino acids are up and you're getting plenty of free radicals and different enzymes to kind of keep your system going, but it's all been just really shocking. It started a couple weeks ago. I was sitting at my office hours over at PCC. I opened up my Gmail account and it's an email from Trader Joe's lawyer. It has some very strong language. We've been doing the podcast for over 10 years and we've kind of felt like we've built this trust with Trader Joe's. I would have expected that Dan Bain, the CEO, would pick up the phone, call us if there was an issue, but instead we heard from their legal team. They brought out the big guns claiming copyright infringement, that we need to change our logo, change our Facebook page. For me, it's kind of like a sniper who's on the roof of an Israeli building and you're just walking to the market and you just feel that right in your heart. He just nails you.
You're bringing up a lot of imagery from that movie American Sniper that stars Bradley Cooper. Just imagine someone like him, but instead he works for Trader Joe's and he's kind of has you in his crosshairs. You got two guys sitting in their podcast booth, touting some of these products that we love, just having a good time. And then from the far corner of your eye, you see Bradley Cooper there with the sniper rifle. Let me just break down the letter for you and how it starts out. Dear Mark and Steve. I was like, oh, nice. This is nice. It's like a letter from a fan.
Yeah.
It's not, to whom it may concern. Or, so some people just start off with like their name, like, Steve, comma.
Right.
And then they just go straight into it. They had the audacity to start the letter with Dear Mark and Steve, which I found really confusing and just kind of a little off-putting and just kind of playing with our emotions a little bit. But I think that's the strategy of O'Melveny and Myers. The letter continues as we represent Trader Joe's company in its intellectual property matters. For more than 40 years, TJ's has worked tirelessly to ensure Trader Joe's trademark are protected from impermissible use. What I get from that first paragraph, Steve, is that Trader Joe's is kind of flexing its muscle there a little bit, kind of showing off a little bit, right?
You're kind of envisioning some underground companies in Vietnam or China who are duplicating Trader Joe's products, just for some sort of black market purpose.
What I got from that first paragraph was that, they want to hire Steve and I to go after these guys, right? To go after these bad actors. And I was ready to go. I was like, all set, ready to go, sir. I have been waiting for this letter for quite some time now. I'm ready to fight for Trader Joe's at any corner of the world. It's almost like drafting, people to go to war, to fight against the commies. This was my Vietnam.
Right. And I don't know if you've seen the movie True Lies.
I have seen True Lies, actually, yes, with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Then, in the next sentence, he says, although Trader Joe's appreciates your enthusiasm, it is nevertheless concerned by your unauthorized use of its trademarks. Specifically, Trader Joe's requests that you stop using the Trader Joe's logo. Because Trader Joe's does not sponsor your podcast, I was at a Trader Joe's the other day. I did notice the Christmas trees and the hues of red, but the red also signifies another thing, and that's violence. And Trader Joe's was like a father to you, but at the same time, it's the father that, with a tough love sort of a father, right?
It's the father that forced you into piano lessons for 5 years.
Right. The father that refuses to pay for your education.
Yes. And we had a little group powwow with some of the producers.
And that's when I realized that I need to reach out to my good friend Jeff Ellenberger from LMU. So this guy, you know, he's always hung out with the lawyers at LMU, and he made a lot of friends at LMU, more than I did. So I've always kept close ties to Jeff, and Jeff was actually the one who told me to lawyer up. So now shall we go ahead and talk to Jeff to see, and I never thought I'd have to use my LMU connections for this.
Okay. So hi, is Jeff available?
Yes, you're speaking with him.
Jeff, buddy, how's it going? You told me to call you in the PM, right? It's 12 PM now, so 12:02 PM. It's Mark. It's Mark from TGJ's. How are you, man? We went to LMU together, bro. How are you? Told me to call you at the PM, and it actually is 12:01 PM, so I decided to give you a call. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mark?
So we're hanging in there, right, Steve?
We're doing okay. I don't know if Mark clued you in via email about our little predicament here.
A little bit.
Yeah. I sent those emails kind of late, so I didn't expect you to get back at me. I really appreciate you picking up your phone. You told me to lawyer up the other day, which really stuck out with me. Really stuck. It was a very powerful thing that it was painful to hear, but I needed to hear it at the same time. Lawyer up, that's a very powerful term. So we're here to kind of do that with you.
Unfortunately, this is how corporations act a lot of the time, and also, fortunately, it keeps people like me in business.
We didn't really want to go here previously because Trader Joe's has their own podcast. They have their lane and we have ours. Mark and I have talked about our opinions about their podcast. And I suffice to say that it's not for everyone. And I think they have been the king of the Trader Joe's podcasts for a little bit too long, because Mark and I we were on satellite radio and we kind of made it to the podcast game late.
That's my fault. I thought satellite radio was the next thing.
And now that we've made this transition to iTunes Store, our podcast has been gaining popularity pretty massively. And I think that speaks to some of the limitations of the official Trader Joe's podcast. It doesn't really capture the essence of Trader Joe's. I mean, I couldn't even get through a couple episodes of it. My guess is they saw our numbers going up and their numbers perhaps going down, and we don't know what to do here. Let's release the hounds, so to say, and just try to push these new kids off the block. But I don't know if we're going to go off the block. Mark, you and I have felt down and depressed and dejected the last few weeks after getting this email, but they're not going to stop us, and we are going to continue, and we're going to get stronger. And I think Jeff is going to maybe help us with that behind the scenes, just kind of formulating a counterattack and kind of playing this game of Battleship, which we never wanted to do.
Sorry. My heart goes out to you guys, and I'm here to help however I can. As Mark knows, I'm very busy. I'll commit whatever resources I can to your disposal, and let's go at this. Let's do it together.
Jeff's the type of guy who, whenever you write him a long email, he kind of responds really quickly and just kind of gives one of these 1 or 2 word responses. They're very curt, but you respect him for that. Just one more question before you have to go. Where do you usually shop at?
I'm actually more of a grocery outlet fan myself. But
that's fine. No,
don't let that stop you. I can litigate Trader Joe's
that's absolutely the best fine. That wasn't the answer I was expecting, but Jeff, you probably there probably isn't one in Garden Grove at the moment, so I feel like that's not your fault. Thank you so much for.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll talk to you later.
Sure, guys.
We've spent some time processing this disaster, but I want to make sure that our listeners know that we are not going to be crushed by this experience. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep getting stronger.
The past 3 weeks, I have been depressed. I have been watching over my back every time I go into a Trader Joe's, and I don't want to live in fear anymore, damn it. And I think that, your speech has been riling me up.
Well, good. In that spirit, I wanted to move on to something a little lighter. There's been a lot of talk on the forums in the last few weeks about the etiquette in a Trader Joe's line. Mark, why don't you kick us off?
Stay to the middle lines as much as possible. Don't be that person who jumps from line to line. Also, don't scoff at the items near the register. Take your time to explore some of those, oft overlooked items. The jerky, the Trader Joe's matcha breath mints are to die for. And, helping the cashier bag the items. An unspoken rule.
I want to say this is an issue that I used to feel moderate on. I have become quite a radical, and I would definitely say if you are standing there not helping your Trader Joe's employee bag your own groceries, then shame on you at this point.
Yes.
This starts way before you get into the store. It really starts in your own home when you're picking clothing items. You don't want to put on a Hawaiian shirt. You don't want to put on something with that fun tropical Hawaiian look because it's going to cause a lot of confusion and a lot of issues when you get into the line.
They think that when they go to Trader Joe's that they want to put on their most fun outfit, right? When in fact it leads to a lot of confusion, like you said, Steve.
We get into this a little bit in my community college class about just a general dress code at a Joe's. Well, if I can't wear my Hawaiian shirts, what do I wear? And I say, that's simple. Wear a linen, wear something soft, something breathable. Another no-no is flip-flops. And that's obvious because you don't want to drop that can of vodka marinara sauce, hit your toe, and end up in the urgent care.
And you don't really want to drop a pineapple on there too. That would be horrible, right?
No, you don't.
You get there and you hit your big toe, right? So yeah, guys, it's not hard. Put on some shoes. They can be Velcro. If you're not into tying shoes, you want to keep expediency on the top of your list. Go for some nice Velcro shoes that you can just kind of slip on. Those people that just kind of slip on their shoes. They're really fast whenever they do it. And you want to be one of those people when you're at Trader Joe's. You want to be able to slip on your shoes very quickly. You don't want to be one of those people who has to lean down on one knee and then actually have to tie their shoes, and it takes a whole 1 minute or 2 minutes and everyone there is just kind of standing waiting for you. All right, when's this guy gonna put on his shoes? We were ready 5 minutes ago. So have some slip-on shoes ready to go, and yeah, just stay away from the flip-flops, guys.
It makes me so happy to see that we can keep serving. For all of the struggle, we can still jump into just helping people out with some of their questions and concerns. And you might hear heaviness in our voices, but we're still here, guys, and we're still growing. And, it's been really inspiring to see our fan base grow and grow regardless of what our podcast logo is. And Mark, I want to thank you for kind of getting out of bed today and chatting with me. Undoubtedly, we will keep chatting.
Thank you so much, Steve. And for those who aren't traveling this holiday season, I will be at home at my house over Christmas break. I will not be going anywhere. I will be in bed mostly, but I will have my podcast mic with me, and I will be kind of doing podcasts just on my own. I may or may not be releasing them to the public, but either way, I will keep talking because I think Trader Joe's wants to silence us when in fact we will not be silent. It is not a silent night, because that is a famous Christmas song, that Silent Night song. No, it is not. It's going to be a very vocal night. With that being said, happy holidays to everyone. Let's not stay silent. Let's keep going. Let's stay vocal. Let's stay sharp here at the Trader Joe's Family Podcast. So have a good one, guys.
Thanks, guys.